there.
Hey, Dad.
Yes.
So here we are. You're in, if I'm not mistaken, you're in your 93rd year, right? You're 92 right now.
Right.
And so that's a lot of years to live. And
Almost too many.
but as we look back at it, I have to chuckle at how many dangerous or toxic or death-defying chemicals you've been exposed to over your life. Most people get concerned about one of these or even not much of one. But can you run me through the list of things you've been exposed to?
I'll see if I can remember them all.
Okay.
Starting with the smelter in Montana, we had to do samples there to fire assaying, we call it, to separate gold and silver. And with that you use what they call litharge or lead oxide. And you vaporize the lead and have the silver and gold left over. And so you're working these hot furnaces with the gas heat, they're hotter than blazes. And
right.
You're working those, and that vapor, that lead vapors, they got fans, but it doesn't clear it up entirely. And so you're inhaling the lead vapor.
Just straight lead is what you're inhaling there, isn't it?
Amounts to it. And that up there got a lot in the system. And then when I was down in Peru, I got enough lead in so I was out of circuit for a couple of weeks.
Oh my heavens.
It makes you get constipated. I can't remember blasting loose, but I was exposed to too much lead because I was working on top of the furnaces there.
Oh, sheesh, Dad.
But then going back to the assaying at Helena, we use asbestos gloves to handle what we had for pots. We heat the stuff in.
Right.
Asbestos, of course, is supposed to be pretty hard on the lungs.
Yeah.
But we'd beat the lungs, our hands together to get the dust out of the gloves, out of the asbestos gloves.
Just straight asbestos shaking off the gloves then, huh?
Yeah, and just the fibers coming loose and everything. The gloves would get so full of dust and dirt that we'd just beat them together like this. That I didn't notice any effect of them, but that's something that you don't do all day.
No, you wouldn't be doing that. Now they'll take a whole school building down if they find an ounce of asbestos in it. So.
Yeah, they'll do that. And when I came up here to St. George, they were running atomic tests in Las Vegas. They ran several testing sites down there, and I was out on the road, the bread truck for most of them. Well, all of them, because they're just in and out of places, but people talk about being exposed to radioactivity. Well, I was out and around all the time the tests were going on.
I seem to remember another story where you guys were on a picnic down by the river, too. Is that right? Was that you, or was that Mom with Uncle Hal or somebody?
Yeah.
You were there?
Yeah.
You guys were out and picnicking down by the Virgin River, and you found out it was a test day or something later on, right?
Yeah.
But that whole cloud would have gone right over you, wouldn't it?
Well, that whole area there was covered in my blanket of atomic energy, and people complaining about it too.
Right. Wow.
Still accuse that of causing a lot of deaths, but I was exposed to it as much as anybody, ordinary person would be, just out all the time in it.
Right. So we got lead, asbestos, radiation. I know you had mercury too.
Well, that doesn't do any. I'm not going to talk about the mercury. But then I told you about the hydrogen sulfide, didn't I?
Oh, no, not on this though. So then you had, the H.
Okay. Yeah, I was gassing some samples in the chem lab and with hydrogen sulfide because they'd making some repairs there and they didn't hook up the fan to clear the air out. So you had to hold your breath while you put some tubes in samples. And I ran out of holding my breath and tried to get out of the little room here we had this gassing going on. I just made it to the door, and I remember leaning against the frame of the door and just dropping down and sitting down on the floor. And when I came to, they had me laying up on the countertop and my head out the window.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
That's the way they took care of it, was to get me up so I could breathe.
Right, just hang your head out the window, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
I came
jeez.
around from that and all right. And we had in the bakery, we lived there, we had there while we...
Was this the one on Main Street, or the one on out at in the industrial park?
This is the one out in the industrial area.
Okay.
And we had what we call a fogger that would create a fog that would eliminate the insects. And we'd have to close up the area and then spray it for quite a while with this fogger. I usually took a respirator, but it didn't seem to work right because later on I started developing headaches in the work. And finally it dawned on me that I was getting a headache the day after I used this fogger.
Right.
I was getting such a heavy concentration of insect spray that it was affecting my nervous system. And I guess that's about all.
When you say that's about all, I
had a lot of surgeries. I can't list them all, mostly on knees and hips. At one time, for a period of time, I had 5 surgeries in 10 days. I got so I knew the pattern of the ceiling going into the operating room.
Oh, sheesh.
I was going in there on my back many times and looking up and following the tiling.
Right, as I went through. I'd say any one of those is enough to kill you. Somehow you've lived through all of them.
Yeah, I wonder how come I don't have more troubles than I do.
No, you're
I had that one knee that got infected awfully bad, and
right.
that was could have lost a leg then, but here I am trying to, well, not strictly trying to hang around, but I have no way except to hang around and let what happens next.
No, but you did pretty well. That's a pretty impressive list of toxic things. I guess it shows the resilience that you have, for sure, huh?
There's something, I don't know what it is. I surely, being 92 years old now and haven't had all those things, when they act like having lead or asbestos or radioactive is fatal, well, it didn't work out with me.
It didn't work out to be quite so fatal with you, did it?
No.
All right. Hey, thanks for sharing. That's quite an impressive list.